Hi everyone, it's Deeper again from New Zealand. Just in relation to the video that I produced yesterday, which was the 26th of February 2024. Today is the 27th, and this is just a follow-up so that people can see what stage I've got up to in relation to getting this locomotive back up and running properly. And I've dug up my rolling road, which I found after not too much hunting. So I've decided to give this a try on the rolling road and see how that performs. So that's in one direction, seems to run okay. And that's in the opposite direction. So I would say that for a start is a bit of success. It is a bit noisy, but those knurled wheels do tend to create a bit of noise even on track. So I thought my next step would be to transfer that bogie onto some track. So what I've done is locate some Super 4 track, and I've made an oval just on the floor in my dining area. And I thought we'll give that a try. I actually found, while looking for the track, another P15 Triang power supply, which conveniently had a connector which was for Super 4 track. So on the basis of that, I thought that was meant to be. So I thought we'll try the motor bogie on track and see how it performs. I think you'd have to say that was quite a good performance in that direction. Try the other way. In the opposite direction, it looks like it also runs well. Not quite as well as in the other direction for some reason, although it's going quite fast, but a little jerky. What I suspect is that this loco has probably been run just pointing in one direction over the years, so it's probably bedded in to run better in one direction rather than the other, and I have seen that with other locomotives as well. However, I think that's a very good result, so I'm going to proceed to the next stage of getting this loco sorted. So the next phase of the operation is that I have removed the unpowered bogie from this end of the loco. That just unclips from two little slots, and I've also unplugged the wires for the light at this end. And the reason I've done that is because this end, as you can see now, which I did mention in the previous video, has been rather badly soldered, and I've been unable to extract the plug or the wiring from this end. So I've decided to pull out the actual units which the wiring is riveted onto in this end, and similarly pull out the units on this side as well, and this forms the structure of the windows of the locomotive. So I'm just going to take those out now. So these glazing units come out quite easily if you are gentle. Sometimes these window ends will crack and potentially break, and this one I think has a little crack in it already from perhaps previous manipulations. However, it is necessary to get that out. There's the bulb, which may or may not be working. I'll have to test that shortly, but that gives me clear access on that side, and I'll also remove this unit here. The other thing that I noticed, which is quite common again in these locos, is that when you shake it within the battery box, it was common practice in the day from the looks of it. Certainly I've seen it with many of these locos where the two clips that hold the battery box in place have been glued along with the battery box itself. You can see some glue residue there, I think, and underneath there, which means that that battery box is now glued in place, and someone has put some metal pieces in there to give the loco a bit more weight, and unfortunately they have got loose and they're now rattling around. So that's another job to be done. So just looking at the parts that have been dismantled at this point, I've managed to get both those glazing units out. You saw the first one here come out without too much difficulty, simply because there's already a crack in it, and so it pops out from the windows themselves quite easily, the glazing unit. This one was quite difficult to get out and took me quite a few minutes because it's not obviously previously been fiddled with, and so it was a fairly tight fit, but that's come out now. At the same time, I looked at this unpowered bogey and thought that wasn't looking very clean and tidy, so I've given that a little bit of a clean up as well, and I'll put some oil into those bearings just there and there. You can see just on the tips there and there will be oiled, and then while looking at the other bits and pieces, I also noticed that this roof unit is rather grubby. So that's going to be the next port of call after the other units have been done. And then there is quite a bit of dust and just general, over the years of storage, probably accumulation of bits and pieces, which including a cobweb I've just removed from somewhere. And then I'm going to have to decide what to do about that battery box that I mentioned previously, which probably will have to be opened up to get the rattling sound out of it by removing metal pieces. So I'll come back to you after I've done these jobs, and you can see what the result is at that point. So this is a photo of the loco roof as initially removed and prior to cleaning, and once it's been cleaned, which was just with soapy water, this is what it looks like now, and I think that's come up particularly well, so I was very pleased with that. I also did some work on the glazing units, and as you can see here, the original compared to after being tidied up. So I think, again, a good result. Motor bogey now tidied up as well with resoldering. And so the finished product now looks like this, which I was very pleased with. And I think that's an excellent result. And here's the finished product, running on my makeshift layout. As you can see, it's now running much more smoothly, and the lights work in both ends, and it's got a reasonable turn of speed, so I think that can be concluded as a successful project. So that's the end of this particular project, and I hope that that was of some interest to all of you, and hopefully that for those of you who are perhaps starting out in the hobby, it could have given you a bit of inspiration to get to work on one of these locos. They're relatively simple to work on, as you can see, and they're fairly robust, so I don't think you would cause too much damage by doing a bit of dismantling. On the other hand, it's been a nice project for me, and certainly hasn't taken very long to get a very nice result. So once again, thank you very much indeed to all of you who have watched my videos over the years, and thank you for liking and subscribing. There's a notifications bell that you can select, which will let you know if a new video has been uploaded by me, so that's something else you may wish to consider. But once again, I'll hopefully have some more content for you soon, and in the meantime, thanks very much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye for now.